Hey, IOStax here. After the last video where I talked about preparation for the next season, a lot of people have asked me and sent me private messages on whether or not their current hero pool is actually viable in the new meta. So I figured I'd go over the changes a bit and over the characters that in my opinion got buffed and nerfed. I will also talk a bit about Sombra and on overall what you should expect for the next season. So to start things off, we go over the buffed characters. Now, Genji isn't necessarily buffed since he got hit by the old nerf. However, Genji will remain one of the best carry characters, right? So in Season 1 and Season 2, Genji has always been a really good character for climbing the ranks, for solo carrying, for really making your mechanical skills count and show them. And that will definitely not change. Now, obviously his ultimate will charge slower, so he won't become as much of an ult bot. However, being mechanically skilled with him and actually dealing damage without his ultimate will be rewarded a lot more in the new meta. Next up we have McCree. Now, the reason he's buffed is because everyone else's ult got nerfed. However, McCree's ultimate was never the defining factor in this kit, right? So McCree's ultimate was always used for zoning, it wasn't really used for getting kills or anything. And in the new meta, because we have less ultimates, mechanics will become a lot more prevalent, right? And McCree is basically all about mechanics. If you can hit your shots as McCree, you will be rewarded, and his kit overall is just way too good. So he will be viable this season, and he will probably be viable in the next season. Now, Reaper currently is the #1 tank killer. Now, the ult nerf sucks to the ultimate charge rate, and also the Ana nerf sucks. However, he is still a really good pick. He's one of the best tank killers. Now, he has a soldier in competition. I will talk about that next. But just against raw dive comps, against a Winston, against a Roadhog, against a run-out shield, Reaper is basically irreplaceable. And he's one of the characters that, even after the Ana ult nerf, is still really good with a nano boost. Now, next up we have Soldier, and man, he got buffed really hard, right? So his weapon now deals 20 damage per shot, which is actually insane. Now, obviously the ult nerf hit him as well, but his sheer weapon damage is just insane. With a single magazine, he can kill 2 characters at close range, which only McCree can if he lands his shot well. But Soldier is just so consistent, he deals so much damage, and he's definitely one of the top picks in the next season. Now, last up we have Symmetra. We don't really know for sure, because she just hit the PTR, but right now she looks incredibly strong. So she has the second ultimate, which replaces her teleporter if she wants to, which is a little pad that gives out 75 HP shields to her teammates. So the idea is that you use her teleporter on the first point, and then when you lose it, you switch to the shield generator. And this shield generator is actually really strong, because it can give you insane amounts of shields on every single teammate, and winning team fights with that in this new mechanics focused meta is going to have a huge impact. Your McCree with 75 extra HP is going to win any duel against another McCree, even if he's mechanically outclassed. Are Torbjorn. Now, a lot of people think that the biggest buff to him is his passive scrap regeneration. However, the biggest buff on him is definitely the fact that his turret doesn't give ult charge anymore. So you can be really offensive with that right at the start on defense. You can just put it right next to the attacker's entrance, and you can get some free ult charge that way, and you don't need to worry that the enemies have an ult advantage in the first fight. Now, he's still not always viable, so he still remains a defense pick. However, now he definitely becomes pickable. He probably won't catch on to pro play anytime soon, but I definitely don't mind him on my team from now on. Also, Widowmaker, her sniper rifle now charges 20% faster, which is overall a great buff, right? Like, she wasn't really bad before, she was very mechanics heavy, and this is just a pure buff. The ultimate nerf doesn't really hit her, because her ultimate never was really a core part of her kit, and it wasn't really that great anyways. But now she has more impact, she can deal way more damage, and she can get way more picks, which is really great. Now, on D.Va I'm a little bit torn. The change is that she has 100 extra HP. This is great because it obviously makes her tanky. However, she will feed more ultimate charge, right? And the fact that Zarya got nerfed, we will go into that a bit later, means that one of her biggest counters, because she can just go through the defense metrics, also got nerfed. So I'd say she got buffed, but I'm not sure by how much yet. Now in the nerf category, first of all we have Pharah, who is absolute horseshit now. They nerfed her way too strong, she wasn't really good before, and the buff to Soldier makes her unplayable in my opinion, so you shouldn't even bother with her. Mei's ult charges super slowly because her ult got nerfed in terms of charge rate, and the overall ult charges got nerfed. Now her ultimate activates a little faster, but that doesn't really make a difference. So I'm not sure if she's unplayable, right? Because before she could have her ultimate every team fight, and that isn't the case anymore. But she's still really good because of her wall. She can catch people off guard. So I'm not sure if she's unpickable, but she's definitely a lot weaker. Now, next up we have Zarya. First of all, Sombra can just destroy her shield and half of her HP with her ultimate. And now she only gets 20 charge for a fire strike, right? Because she only can get a max of 40 charge per shield. And they changed it so that fire strike doesn't hit twice, meaning that it will only destroy half of the shield, so she will only get 20 charge, if I am not mistaken. Down from 50 charge, so that's a really, really big nerf. Her kit, however, is still really strong, right? Her shields are great for saving teammates. Her ultimate is still really strong. However, because the ult charge nerf is percentual, this means that the slowest charging ultimate, which is in this case Zarya's ultimate, is hit the hardest. So Zarya definitely took a big hit. Now she's probably still playable. You can probably still carry with her, but you definitely need to consider that she's a lot weaker now. Now, next up we have Reinhardt. Now, this isn't directly nerfed, but on the PTR right now, Sombra can hack through his shield and drop it, which is really bad. And also when Reinhardt gets caught in a Graviton Surge, before he could just block his teammates with his shield. However, now Sombra can just destroy the shield, and it's open gate for the enemy team to destroy them. It's not the biggest nerf, but it will definitely be noticeable. Now, Lucio is still a must pick probably. However, Sombra counters his ult very, very hard. Also, his speed boost got nerfed, which is a little longer ago. So I'm not sure, it depends. If people start to get really, really good with Sombra, and Sombra kind of enters the meta, then Lucio will definitely suffer from that. Now, Ana's grenade is still really, really OP, and still the strongest ability in the game. However, the nerf to her ultimate, meaning that if she boosts someone, the target no longer gains bonus movement speed, is kind of strong. So boosting someone like Reinhardt or Reaper during his ultimate, or a Dragon-Bladed Genji isn't as good anymore. Like, it's still really, really good, right? But not as good. Also, the fact that her ultimate charges even slower now because of the global ult charge nerf is not great for her, because she kind of relies on her ultimate. But then again, her grenade is just too good, so she will probably still be picked and be played. And now a lot of people try to speculate on whether Sombra will be good or whether she will be unplayable or stuff like that. However, the real answer is that nobody can tell, right? If you remember the Ana launch back then, everybody was saying she was so incredibly weak, she needs buffs, she wasn't getting played, her win rate was atrocious. However, as people started to understand Ana's kit and the strength that she had and how she synergizes with other characters, she became a must pick over time, right? Like right now in season 2, Ana is a must pick, and I think the same will happen to Sombra, so that a lot of people just don't know the niches of her kit. They play her wrong, they play her like a GPS, they don't take advantage of her kit. And I think if that will change, then she will definitely see some more play, maybe even competitive play, we are not sure. And adding her into the mix, and especially her ultimate, as we mentioned earlier, will affect other characters. So Reinhardt will be affected, Lucio will be affected, Zarya will be affected. Also, if she enters the meta and people start to play her, she will become mandatory, because her ultimate is insane. It destroys absolutely everything. It synergizes great with Graviton Surge, because all shields are down, so Zarya can just bomb them away. Or it synergizes well with Genji's Blade, because the enemies can't use their CC, right? Genji in his ultimate can't get Dragon Bladed, can't get rotor cooked, he can't get flashbanged, he can't get frozen by Mei, and all of that stuff. So if Sombra enters the meta, she will definitely be really, really good. So overall, good mechanics are more important than ever. Now that ult charge has been nerfed, more fights will be reliant on good mechanics instead of good ult management. So if you're a really good McCree, a really good soldier, a really good Widowmaker, this season will be perfect for you, because your mechanical skills will be rewarded even more. Now, Sombra and Symmetra will make things interesting. I will probably make a video on those two in depth later this week, so look forward to that. Also, you need to play a lot in the off-season. You need to get prepared. Download the PTR, get used to the Symmetra changes. So as soon as they hit live, you are prepared. You know how to deal with them, and you know how to play them correctly in the correct situation.